This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
Right now, Webster Groves police are looking for a person who's accused of a hate crime. Investigators say someone set fire to Black Lives Matter signs this week, leaving one of them burning outside of a church. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. This all happened late at night and early in the morning on August 28th and 29th. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer is live at the Webster Groves Police Department with what she's learned about all this from investigators.
Good evening, Mike and Ann. Well, this all happened in 3 locations here in Webster Groves. According to the Webster Groves Police Department, they say that it happened on Bompart Avenue, Summit Avenue, and Big Bend Boulevard. Now, earlier we spoke to a pastor here in Webster Groves, and he was actually a victim of 2020 hate crimes that targeted churches here in town. And he says it's something the city cannot shake. Still to this day, he's receiving hate phone calls and hate emails.
Our signs are not going to go away.
David Danoon is the pastor at First Congregational Church in Webster Groves. He says the hate in his community has to stop.
They're just putting a sign out that says how they feel and what they desire for their country and for their fellow citizens.
The Webster Groves Police Department says 2 Black Lives Matter signs, 1 Trans Lives Matter sign, and a church pillar were burned on Bompart Avenue, Summit Avenue, and Big Bend Boulevard this week. The police department believes the crimes were committed by the same person. Pastor Danoon's church faced similar hate in 2020 when someone spray painted the numbers 1350 on his church entrance. Those are racist numbers used by white supremacists to portray African Americans as savage and criminal. He says the hate hasn't stopped.
It's somebody burning yard signs on doorsteps, in yards, or and this has been trolls sending us letters and calling us on the phone. This was sent on the 17th of July, so it arrived about a month ago.
It's a letter turning his pride flag in the front of the church to an American flag with hateful language. He says the church still receives hateful letters and phone calls on a regular basis.
We will not be intimidated. This is a conversation that needs to happen so that everybody can come to a place of equality, equity, dignity.
Now, when I asked Webster Groves Police Department about these hate crimes, they said they wouldn't comment on this investigation. But of course, if you or anyone you know has information on these hate crimes, immediately call them. Reporting in Webster Groves, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Within the past hour, we've learned the owners of a troubled gas station in downtown St. Louis could get a bit more time to fix ongoing problems. The property has been the backdrop for several crimes over the past few years, including a deadly shooting in December. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings sat in on a meeting today that lasted hours.
I feel very sad because I work in here. I own this business from 2006.
Fearful of his future.
And we have 3 families here, and we got kids. We have to take care of our kids.
The voice you're hearing is one of 3 owners at this BP in downtown St. Louis. He asked us not to share his face for safety. In July, the gas station at 1401 Shoto Avenue was robbed at gunpoint 2 times in about a week. A month before that, a 12-year-old girl was hurt by gunfire while buying chips. Here's video in December when a man was killed over a stolen car. The city's Board of Adjustment spent hours hearing testimony Wednesday after an investigation into the property they say has been a nuisance for 10 years. They cited issues like the store selling items intended for use as drug paraphernalia.
Consistently on the property is we have fights, assaults, disturbances, stealing, property damage, shootings. So all these calls are a nuisance to the city.
Owners say they are the target.
We got some shootings come from cross street. It's not from my lot.
Neighbors echo it's not the business that's the issue.
It be people going to the gas station. And it's once they go to the gas station, if somebody see them, then they're going to shoot at them. And that's what's been happening.
These longtime owners want time to get it right.
We try to do the best. We try working with the city. Anything they need, we can do.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
The testimony today, which again lasted for hours, ended with the city's Board of Adjustment requesting a continuance. The attorney is hoping to hear back soon.
A woman murdered in Blackjack is the niece of Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle. Officers found Kayla Patterson shot to death inside an apartment on Whisper Lake Drive around 9 o'clock Sunday night. She was 25 years old. So far, no arrests, and police want anyone with information about the case, please call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS.
Doctors and nurses at a Metro East hospital have been working since Sunday with no internet or phone. An outage is affecting St. Elizabeth's Hospital in O'Fallon, Illinois, and other clinics and hospitals in the Hospital Sisters Health System. According to a post on the hospital's Facebook page, if you have a scheduled appointment, you will be seen as planned. If you're coming to the hospital for a lab test, you must have a printed order form. It's not clear yet what caused the outage or when it will be resolved.
Republican presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy is hosting a private fundraiser at the Four Seasons in downtown St. Louis tonight.
The billionaire's campaign relocated to the backup venue after a Webster Groves restaurant pulled the plug on his event earlier this week. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, tracked down the new location of the private fundraiser. Mark?
Mike, the high dollar fundraiser is closed to the press and the public. $500 gets you in the door. $3,300 gets you a private dinner with the biotech billionaire. We went there to try and ask a few questions, but were asked to leave.
It's a win-win for the Ramaswamy campaign.
The upstart campaign for Vivek Ramaswamy put a positive spin on getting pushed out of their initial event space for a political fundraiser.
We were able to find another venue, and actually interest spiked once this restaurant owner canceled on us.
Owners at Olive and Oak said when the campaign started using their name and logo to advertise a political fundraiser, quote, we decided to cancel in an attempt to avoid getting in the middle of politics, something they said was, quote, clearly futile at this point.
It is somewhat ironic. Vivek literally wrote the book, Woke Inc. on wokeism, cancel culture, and here he is, the victim of being canceled in St. Louis.
Deputy Communications Chief Stefan Mihailu took aim at past events the restaurant hosted, events its owners said stood up for human rights.
It's a sad irony that this restaurant hosted a drag show for kids and had fundraisers for drag murals and things of that nature, but yet would cancel a presidential candidate for his beliefs.
In social media posts, Olive and Oak said, while we admit the politics of Mr. Ramaswamy don't align well with the vast majority of our employees and community, there were other issues involved in the decision to cancel. The event was described to us as a private, invite-only fundraiser. We subsequently discovered the event was being publicly promoted without our consent.
I don't buy that for 1 second. There's no question the owners felt heat and canceled Vivek Ramaswamy because he's a Republican running for president. Had no problem hosting a drag show for kids, but they have a problem with a conservative Republican hosting an event for him.
Ramaswamy has proven rather adept at generating buzz, floating unconventional or controversial notions. For instance, saying he'd have handled January 6th differently than Mike Pence did. He recently compared a black congresswoman to a member of the KKK. And this week, saying in lieu of affirmative action, he'd ask college applicants to run a mile and do some push-ups. His knack for drawing attention to himself earned a nod from former President Donald Trump, who said he'd make a, quote, very good vice president.